Morning folks, we're going to try to fix a bit of an issue we have here. If you look, this tank has been flowing. There's a float in there and we've been adjusting the arm to make it lower to shut off earlier. But it must be, I'm thinking there's either an obstruction in the float or it's just wore. But I got a new float here I'm going to try to install. And hopefully we can quit this mess, because that ain't fun. Especially in the winter time, that's gonna make a big icy spot. The float is completely submerged. You know, we have the float low enough to where it needs to be, but it was still filling. I get the pump off, so when I take that valve out, I'm not going to keep getting squirted. So all this red color you see, that's iron, and this is the kind of the stopper. There's little iron on it. That could be the issue. It might just need cleaned up a bit. Oh, I wish it was about 60 degrees warmer. Whew. Hi, Allie. Put that lid on. Alright, we'll go turn the water back on. My hands are freezing. That's why I left this UTV running. Got the heat blasted. Oh. It's not the cold, it's the wind chill. It's windy out there. Pump's back pumping. We'll see if there's any leaks. It's not dripping. That doesn't mean it's at the right level, because it's very full right now. But so far, seems like things are working. After these bowls drink this water down, we'll come back, and there's a line down in there where you want the water level to be at, and we'll try to get it to that line. The last sheet. That old float we took off was probably 3 years old. I just think that iron buildup made it uneven there and couldn't get a good solid seal, and it would just drip. But anyway, it's been kind of making a mess the last few months. We've been adjusting the arm, the float down deeper to try to get it shut off sooner, but it doesn't really matter when it shuts off, I guess, if it's just going to keep dripping. weather got unfavorable out there. It's sleeting and getting icy. I think we did some really good stuff with that new float. Picked up some iron the other day, some of that expanded iron stuff. We're gonna be switching gears now, building a little shelf. Doesn't sound cool, but it's gonna make this spot over here look a lot better, be a lot more user friendly. Get rid of this wood thing. Basically gonna come out to the garage door, and here we'll have a place to store stuff right across here too. So we'll start with cutting iron. We got a lot left over from a project from last year. It's just getting rusty, it's in the way, so I thought might as well turn it into something. The cutting of the iron is probably my least favorite part, but it's arguably the most important part, getting those pieces at the right length. Putting it together here, I'm a big fan of the 45-degree cuts. Adds a little extra time, but I think it makes things stronger and look better. Not that we need much strength for a shelf. Picked up some of these the other day too. All of them swivel. I think these were 250-pound wheels, so be able to put 1,000 pounds on there. I think this thing's gonna look really nice when we're done with it. You probably noticed that first rectangle was a lot smaller iron than this next one we're doing. The biggest reason behind that really is just I have enough iron left over that I can only make one square of each. I didn't have enough to make both of them the same size iron. But this will be the bottom level because there will be that air compressor sitting on it, so I thought might as well put the heavy item on the heavier iron. So with these casters, you know, they'll probably just weld them on the bottom corners. I've done that before and it seems like they hold fine. More sawhorses. Just so happens the Bobcat tire is about as high, keeps it level. Just a little bit of adjustment needed for some of these, but they're pretty close for the most part. We'll be able to bend those with our small tack welds. Anyway, now I can take that off, and then we're gonna notch out the corners on one of those sheets so we can fit it around these uprights. I was gonna use a cutoff wheel, but then I thought plasma would be more fun. Liquid hot magma. Oh, it's like snowing out there. We better stay indoors. Just welded the mesh down, solid on there. Got all these lined up and welded. Cut a couple pieces to run across just like we did down here. Do that up here. Throw that top mesh on and then weld the tires on. We're about done. Moving all that, cleaning underneath and stacking it on the new shelf. You know, the nice thing about a shelf, it's pretty hard to mess up building it. So one thing I learned on this project that you might want to think about, or maybe you guys already knew, but I had these cut out at the iron store, if you will, and I had to make it 18 inches wide because I wanted the thing to be 18 inches wide. But what I wish I would have done is had them do like a 1/2 inch narrower, because I'm getting a little bit of overlap here. And you know, that could be because I didn't cut these as long as I should have. This mesh stuff doesn't need to go to the absolute end. So just keep that in mind, you know, having your frame a little bit wider than this expanded iron, so you're not catching yourself on sharp points or whatever. They'll do a mix of welding and also self-tappers. I don't know how well they'll go through that that stuff. It's kind of thick, but it might work. Oh, that worked pretty good. Went in like butter. Oh! As you can see, we've never cleaned under there before. Looks professional. Now we'll load it back up. We did a couple things. Number one, we got rid of that big iron that was sitting here. This flat iron could be pushed over a little bit out of the way. Looks a lot nicer over here. And we have more countertop, more space to put stuff. Can roll it out if we ever want to. I like it. I like it a lot. That only took about 2 hours to build, so it's a pretty quick one. I could have gone with like some thin sheet metal or something here. I'm not sure. I don't know. Now all the dust can fall through. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I won't have to clean this, I guess. Just all go down to the floor. Well, let's go check that water tank that we adjusted. Put a new float on. See what the level's like. See what it's doing. Hopefully not overflowing. Ooh, we got some drinking going on. Yeah, alrighty. That's a good fix. I'm proud of that one. You can see, like, look at this. Just solid ice that's past that first ring of the fence. That was just leaking down and freezing and making a mess on both of these pens. I kind of think if I take that float that was in here and I clean it up a little bit, get some of that rust, get some of that rust off of there, I think it might work. So I'm gonna keep it around as a spare, I guess. A used spare to get us by in a pinch if we ever need it. Other than that, folks, I think that's about it. We got a sheet of ice underneath there. It's a little chilly, and we got another chance for snow coming this weekend, so we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed watching a guy build a shelf. Love to see you next time. Have a good one. He was just admiring it. He really likes it. He thinks it looks pretty good. Well, thank you, Tiny. I appreciate the support.